It's a big one. It's a 65-inch TV from Australia. Oh, and it's a Samsung. So what could possibly go wrong? You may notice on the model number it says UA, not UE, which is what we're more used to. E standing for Europe, A in this case standing for Australia. This is an Australian Samsung 65-inch. It's a few years old now. It's looking about 12 to 15 years old. It's a semi-curved screen. The customer says that it's got the red light. It hasn't got a picture, but he says it hasn't got an image either. He's done a bit of a torch test. Now this seems to be a backlit one, a backlit 65-inch. Which is going to be a pain if it's the backlights. To be honest with you, it may not be worth doing if it's the backlights, because it's getting to an age now. And of course, I won't. If it's a circuit board issue, I don't think a UK circuit board will sort this. I don't think. I'll have to find the screen, but we need to test first, because this is an H, and the H's were the first ever to go blue and go dark blue, so dark that sometimes you couldn't see the picture and you couldn't see the image. And I'm just wondering if that's what the problem with this one is. But I'm going to lift it up. It only just fits in here. Only just fits in here. Now I'm going to switch it on. We have a standby light there, which seems to be on. I have a Samsung remote. Let's see what happens. Is it coming on as normal? So in other words, is that standby light going to extinguish, flash and go? And it is. Let me see by turning the volume up if I hear any sound. I don't. I can't see anything on that screen. Right, sorry, just had a customer drop a TV off. I'm going to switch, well, I'm going to let me switch some lights off and see if I can see anything by switching that on and off again. I'm just surprised that not even a volume thing is coming up. I'm going to press the menu. I think I can see something on the screen. Or is it just a reflection of me? I'm going to press exit, and I'm going to press the settings to see if we get any settings. I mean, even though it's an Australian TV, it still should have the same firmware, and we should be getting a list of things coming up. It looks like the screen is out. I'm going to switch the TV off, because it just looks like something's happening to the screen, so I want to see if the screen changes when I switch off. No. I'm seeing things. I am seeing things. Right. Let's try again. Settings. I'm going to switch off again. Sorry if I'm hitting the camera. No, it's not changing anything. I'm really surprised that when I'm hitting the volume key that I'm not hearing, you know, if it's backlights you hear it go dink, 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 dink when the volume goes up, and I'm not hearing that, and I still should hear that. So it's looking like a mainboard at the moment. How am I going to get an Australian mainboard? I wonder what's inside it. I have to have a closer look. We'll see if the power supply on its own brings any backlights on. Which I'm suspecting it will. If anything, it's a mainboard fault, as I say, but that throws up more problems because unless it's a generic mainboard that can be used in any country, and some of them could at this stage, you can't so much do that now. This TV didn't have a SCART on it, which they wouldn't have in Australia. I don't think Australians had SCARTs. Can somebody tell me in the comments? I know America didn't, primarily UK and wider Europe, but why have I got a funny feeling that maybe Australia had SCARTs? Maybe. Shall we have a look around it? Doubt very much you're ever going to see a faulty cap on these. You're just not. Could be a TCON issue. Sometimes faulty TCONs will stop the backlights from coming on because of that. That regulates the backlights. So if it's a really bright image, it will dim the backlights. So I think for now we'll just disconnect the main board from the power supply and see what happens. Switch the lights off so we can see if anything shines through. Where are we going to be looking? Where's the nearest hole? Well, there's 3 holes there, probably 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if the backlights come on. I'm going to say yes, they will. Switch on now. Yes, they have. Backlights have come on. Did you see that? Can you tell that they've come on? I'm working in the unit today, and it's a beautiful day, and we've got loads of sunshine. Right, so it's either going to be a main board or it's going to be a screen issue. Let's plug that back in. Let's disconnect that from the TCON first. and see what happens when we plug back in. The backlights have come on. The backlights have come on with that disconnected, but have we got a picture? Can you see? Sorry. The backlights are on, look. I'll disconnect again. And I'll connect again. So, could be screen, could be TCON. Have we got an image now? No. Let me switch on and switch off. Let me switch back on. Yeah. No image. So, screen or TCON? Backlight's not coming on now. What's changed? I just switched off, and when I switched it back on, backlight's not coming on. Now they are. No image. Okay, let's start disconnecting one screen at a time. You probably can't see, well you can see just, I'm disconnecting the left hand side of the screen as you look at it. Plugging back in, do the backlights come on? Yes. Do I get an image at all? It would be beneficial if I didn't, and I'm not. Let's try the other half. Backlights have come on. Half an image anywhere? No. Let's test the fuse on that TCON. Sorry, that's quite bizarre. I've plugged the TCON dimmer back in. And it's come on as normal, but I did have that screen. This could be a screen fault. I wonder now, because that's as it was, everything plugged in. The backlights aren't coming on. I've got two lights here from the TCON on. I don't know if you can see them. There's a blue light there and a blue light there. I think there's supposed to be three. Let's see what happens when I disconnect this. Does the third light come up? No, but the backlights come on. Let me plug that in again. Watch the backlights. Yeah, as soon as I plug this in, so I'm just going to plug that back in. As soon as I plug that in, now is that a short on the screen? I think it is, because let me just unplug. If I disconnect the screen, leave that plugged in, yeah, backlights come up. We're not getting half an image. So it's not looking like a TCON fault, is it? It's looking like a screen fault. Plugging back in. Probably not going to get the backlights now. No, not turning on. Let me disconnect the right hand side of the screen. Yep, backlight's coming on. But no image. Diagnosis. Screen fault. I've just blocked off a little bit of the right hand side screen, and we have an image now on one side. That slightly confused me. So I've blocked something off this side. Okay. And I carried on for at least another 20-25 minutes just trying with a paper trick to see if I could get the other side of the screen to come back, but I got absolutely nothing. It was either blank or it was white. So we know where the short is, we know where the clock line problem is, but no magic trick is going to bring this back, unfortunately. So there's nothing much we can be done. It's a real shame because it's a 65-inch, but you know, this is not one to really have a pop at Samsung, because we've well, the customers had 12 to 15 years out of this. It was originally purchased in Australia. It's moved around a little bit. It's a shame that it is a screen fault, because it would have been a good challenge to try and find a mainboard, and I thought we would have got one, but it doesn't make any difference. We're never going to find a screen. So the picture that we managed to get on the left hand side, or right hand side technically, because we've got the screen upside down, is the best that this TV will ever be.